tease, and Joker did get changes. So anyone that put on Twitter, if their Joker gets changes, I'll eat an egg. There you go.
All right, we'll go into more of that later. For now, we have winners finals tonight. We got 9SuperPIE fighting off against Jakal, and 9 seems to be leading off with his Wario for this one.
And here is the kind of the mechanism for this run. The Wario, a newly minted on the New Jersey PR, that being 9SuperPIE, kind of coming in at 11. But I mean, Jakal is all like a shoe-in to be there, and he's looking to see how he tests his mettle against this Wolf that's playing at the top of his game, finding the jump call off of the bike, looking for another one, but he frame traps him anyway. The coverage and the positioning so clean from Jakal as he's looking for the edge guard. Was charging up smash, but got hit by the get-up attack.
All right, it was a good enough call. I think it was just a little early on it.
Yeah.
Well, two tools, though, that I think Jakal's using really well are going to be forward air and nair. We're already seeing out the gate in this game one. Because Jakal's fully aware that Wario is a character who's equally aggressive in the air. Fighting for that airspace is going to be pivotal for both these players. So using those tools that are really good for aggressively dominating that airspace is super important for Jakal. And an offstage scuffle like that is going to lead to 9 losing his first stock.
Yeah, a real big shame from 9SuperPIE, but that's just good play from Jakal, being able to tech that Wario down air. The multi-hit can be incredibly difficult, but what that did give 9SuperPIE is a ton of damage and a chance to surge back into positioning for this game if he's able to find a killing blow. That dash attack will not do it, DIing perfectly to the corner and sent back into center stage at 155. Wario and 9SuperPIE really need to find this stock soon. Hopping over the get-up attack, though, with the mix-up is Jakal, being able to use that incredible airspeed from Wolf to sustain even more mix-ups and contest with Wario and his floaty, just everything.
Yeah, Jakal's just making really good decisions with how to navigate around Wario. 9 stopping the bleeding now with the jump to throw off stage, but at the very least, he's showing that, like, 9 is trying to hover around Jakal. Meanwhile, Jakal's trying to hover around 9. This is a very mobile fight, but Jakal seems to have a better control of when to actually initiate that fight, and I think that's why we're seeing him in the lead right now.
Yeah, just playing the spacing game, and while both characters can play in the air so immaculately, Wolf is almost always going to have that range advantage. Wario has to put himself at risk before able to find some of these hits, but he does have waft, and that falling up air not going to take it quite yet. A little bit too much rage to immediately pull the trigger on reaction, yet this is getting very dangerous. 80%. Wario might not even need to use that waft right away as he finds the down tilt, but no dash attack, looking for the dash grab, but missing the actual dash input. Another grab coming out, and that one is properly punished by Wolf's steely boot as people keep popping off behind me. The excitement's really in the air.
We've got plenty to talk about in that regard right now, but for now, let's focus on the match, because we've got Jakal just slowly bleeding out 9's options. Even though he's got waft fully charged, SuperPIE hasn't had an opportunity to really make use of any of that aerial pressure that leads into waft being so threatening. Jakal's just been able to buzz around and constantly sting at 9, and it's not just dealing lots of damage as Wolf is one to do, it's constantly mispositioning him, and I think that's even worse for Wario.
Yeah, it's been incredible to watch Jakal be quite surgical with how he approaches 9SuperPIE while in the air, because it's always been, it's usually you see characters kind of get overwhelmed by Wario's incredible airspeed and these incredible combos, but Jakal playing on the play, quote unquote, if you don't mind me using card game terms, as it tends to happen. He's not trying to play too reactively. He's not trying to play and hit him on the crackback. He's always being first. He's always striking first and coming after 9SuperPIE while he's in the air, waiting to set up his offense.
As that initiator is really important when you consider what Wario is able to do when he initiates. If you consider a neutral interaction where 9SuperPIE is going to win out as Wario, especially on a stage like Stadium, you get a decent amount of damage, really good stage control, and then you opt to either edge guard, which Wario in his own right is pretty solid at, or you hold back, you hold that center stage, or you hold stage control in general, and you make good use of a lead. That was a fantastic start to Game 2 for 9.
Yeah, super clean stuff on his part, being able to hold steady and take advantage of a tool that Wario has in full display. And speaking of all of Wario's tools, have we mentioned up air yet today? A couple times, but it never has managed to find damage like this. This lead has just spiraled way out of control, and looking for the Wolf Flash, it was Jakal, but not able to find anything. It's 9SuperPIE showing off these up airs and clapping his hands aplenty.
While Wario is the one who's able to start a lot of these interactions, you end up finding games that are sort of swingy, where 9SuperPIE wins out an advantage, when 9SuperPIE takes a stock. Jakal takes advantage, Jakal wins the stock. But Jakal's currently sitting at a really heavy deficit in percentage, and 9 is just constantly charging up that waft. He's in such a good position right now, so long as he just keeps on pressuring Jakal passively by running towards him, finding these little hits here and there. It doesn't matter if he's not getting big damage yet or an early enough kill. That pressure is just passively building up further and further against Jakal.
Yeah, but these combos are coming out from Jakal. These sweet spot nairs really finding their mark as it quickly taking him to 90 and evening up this game. Being careful around the bike as 9SuperPIE being a little bit greedy and a little bit over eager with some of these back air placements, pushing a little bit too far forward. Gets back on the bike though. Laser's able to stop the offense, but finally a back air coming down from mid stage is able to close it out and still able to survive off the initial offense from the Angel platform. This is a great spot for Wario if he's allowed to land, but the laser comes through. Wow.
An excellent catch with the up smash on the platform. Jakal's been putting such a heavy emphasis on being able to control that space right beneath the platforms or on the platforms, and it's proving to be such a good gamble because even though 9 has been moving around really freely in this game too, the platforms are proving to be really difficult for him to hold.
Yeah, yet here we are back at this neutral. Like, oh, never mind, we're gone. Yep. We're going to game 3.
Yes, sir. We are far from neutral when 9 is hunting around for that waft confirmed.
Yeah, and finally able to find one too. Like it took him a moment to really find a hit that he was comfortable in when pulling the trigger, going for waft, but a very late part of that nair and catching Jakal holding in just a little bit of antsy DI, maybe catching him drifting one way or the other, but that is going to certainly close out the stock for game 2. And 9SuperPIE bringing it to a game 3 where Jakal runs it right back.
Makes sense too. Jakal in his own right has been able to control stage very well, and Wolf of course has the tools to make those landings from Wario very dangerous.
And certainly he has been punishing 9SuperPIE all as much as 9SuperPIE has been kind of swinging at him, but out of shield this time have been a couple of these hits. Many times Jakal has been just preemptively going for the aerial strikes, but this time he's more willing to let 9SuperPIE come at him with some of these lingering aerials and punish or trade with something as big as Wolf's Nair and Fair.
Punish is definitely the key word here because we're seeing Jakal do a lot of retreating or approaching with shield, forcing 9 to make that choice, swinging on shield and potentially going for a grab. But as soon as he moves, Wario's not the swiftest of characters, so Jakal's able to react fantastically, and it's all on the defensive positions that he's holding. Jakal takes a lead, proving that this change in pace was well worth it.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta slow it down to speed it up, as that stock was evaporated. Not the quickest, but in a very strong manner, really making a statement that Jakal can certainly adjust his playstyle on the fly and make use of Wolf's variable tools to play the character in many different ways. Yet he always has to be careful of 9SuperPIE, who's been able to find these clutch hits and these important moments to keep himself in this game. Waft certainly having a hand in that gameplay style, but the Fire Wolf getting interrupted by Fair, and Jakal kind of coming down with a couple of these. This should be a good one, but he misses the grab.
Oh, Wolf side B just put you in so much shield stun. There's hardly anything you can do in that kind of a situation, and Jakal's just benefiting so well from it now. Putting out the pressure on the ledge. He's not able to find his kill just yet, but once again, responding with up smash leads to yet another kill. Jakal is on a roll right now.
Yeah, playing out of shield has been just an excellent switch, and then suddenly he can start doing things that were working in game 1 when 9SuperPIE gets a little bit too antsy and starts trying to almost outthink himself. Jakal, this back to basics approach has been excellent for him in this game 3 as he's working on a 3 stock right now. A couple more up airs, but that back air will close out the dreams of a 3 stock. And Wario, definitely known to make a couple comebacks here, has a explicit combo game of his own, but not be able to have the bike in order to maintain his neutral stance. Yet the dash attack comes through.
It's really solid patience from Jakal overall. He's making sure that even though he has such a significant lead, that he's not overextending too hard, because he's also aware of how dangerous things with Wario can be. Just choosing to get these hits here and there, further build that damage so that when he does manage to get that one read on the ledge or from a wayward jump from 9, it's going to be the fatal.
Yeah, letting himself sit, finding a dash attack, not chasing too hard, as 9SuperPIE is almost forced to really look for these high-risk, high-reward options. That up tilt on the platform, trying to catch Jakal jumping into him, but Jakal